Ta'ah in Arabic means to obey and to act upon the advice of some person also. If you obey these people, some of these peoples whom the book was given before you, the Christians and the Jews, if you obey some of them, or if you act upon their advice, if you lend your ears to them, they will take you back from ba'da imanikum kuffara. They will take you back from iman to kufr. You will again become kafir. You will again become unbelieving. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu in tuti'u fariqan min alladhina utul kitaba yaruddukum ba'da imanikum kafirin. Wa kayfa takfuruna wa antum tutla alaykum. And how dare you commit kufr? How dare you go back from iman to kufr? Wa tutla alaykum ayatullah. And the ayat of Allah and the signs of Allah are being recited unto you. Wa fiikum rasuluhu. And amongst you is present his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَمَنْ يَعْتَصِمْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ هُدِيَ إِلَىٰ صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And whosoever holds fast to Allah, whosoever clings to Allah, whosoever holds fast to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then indeed he is guided to the right path, to the straight way. Here the first half of this surah comes to an end. You have seen, just like Surah Al-Baqarah, in the first half, either the direct address is to the former Muslim Ummah. Here more prominently to the Christians. In Surah Al-Baqarah, more evidently, more apparently to the Jews. Here to the Christians. But after that you had find that Ahlul Kitab, and it includes both. So here also the address mainly has been towards the former Muslim Ummah. And now you know the remaining 10 sections of this surah, starting from ayah number 102 till the end. Here only you will find a very brief reference to the Jews in the very end. But the rest is the address to the Muslim Ummah. And the most part of it that is occupied by a commentary on the events of the Battle of Uhud. But the first two sections are very important, especially the first 3 ayat. These 3 ayat, you know, are so profound, and you can compare them to the 5 ayat of the 19th section of Surah Al-Baqarah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. Wa la taqulu liman yuqtalu fi sabilillahi amwat, bal ahya'un walakin la tash'urun. Wa la nabluwannakum bi shay'in min al-khawfi wal-ju'i wa naqsin min al-amwali wal-anfusi was-samarat wa bashshiris sabirin. الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. With these 5 ayats started the second part of the former surah, that is Surah Al-Baqarah, where the address was directed to the Muslim Ummah. Here with 3 ayat, most profound. The full, you know, a methodology has been given to the Muslim Ummah. How to perform your duty. The duty of becoming witnesses unto the whole of humanity. What should you do? How will you perform? What are the prerequisites? What are the preconditions that you must fulfill to be able to discharge that mission and that duty that has been put on your shoulders? Now first 3 ayat, and I have a big book, you know, Ummat-e-Muslimah ka Laya-e-Amal, Quran-e-Hakim ki in 3 ayat ki roshni mein. This is in Urdu, a full book on this subject based on these only 3 ayat. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah as much as you should have. This is the strongest ayah in the Quran about, you know, taqwa. Ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi. The companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were very thoughtful about it. How can a person have the taqwa as much as he should have? As much as is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who can fulfill the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And they were perturbed. So when they came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then you know the ayah in Surah Al-Taghabun was revealed. And on that, you know, the Sahaba, then they were satisfied. They were set to rest, you know. And when that ayah is, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Have taqwa of Allah as much as you can. So one can go and try as much as is in his capacity. But here, the wordings are the most strongest wordings. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. And see to it that you don't die except as Muslims. And what is a Muslim? Muslim is a person who has submitted himself, who is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does it mean? If you decide I won't die, but as a Muslim, what does it mean? You will never commit any sin. Because sin actually, what is sin? You are breaking the law of Allah. And maybe that the cruel hands of death pounce upon you at that very moment. If death comes to you at that very moment, you are not dying the death of an obedient person. You have taken liquor. You have committed haram. And at that very moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts death to you. What will happen? Is your death the death of a Muslim? No, this is the death of a sinner. This is a death who is breaking Allah's law, who is in revolt against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has challenged the divine law. So actually this is most profound ayah. And what does it show? If you want to discharge your duties as Muslim Ummah, you must be yourself. First of all, you must be practicing Muslim yourself. You must be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yourself. You must be following the injunctions of the Sharia yourself. You must have the maximum taqwa of Allah in your heart yourself. If you don't fulfill these conditions and you start calling people to the deen of Allah, well, you are putting the cart before the horse. You must put the horse before the cart, not the cart before the horse. And that is, first of all, you have taqwa yourself. Individuals should be prepared first. Individual characters should be built first. And then actually, if you want to build a very strong wall, a very strong rampart, what do? The bricks must be strong. Every brick should be very strong. And then you join together. And the mortar, the cement substance should also be very strong. But first of all, the bricks must be strong. So actually this ummah is composed of bricks. Every Muslim is a brick of this ummah. So this brick should be strong, and their strength, and that is of taqwa and practicing Islam. So this is item number one of the agenda of the Muslim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraqu. Now the second level. Now join these bricks together. And you hold fast to the rope of Allah, to the cable of Allah, to the cord of Allah. All of you together. Wa la tafarraqu. And don't be disunited. Now these bricks should be joined together, and the cementing substance should be very strong, so that the wall is strong, the rampart is strong. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ